Good morning, guys. We're on the F-150. We got to do a service. As we noted last time we looked in here, we have 163, 462. We're up to 166 now, so time for an oil change. It's 44 degrees this morning. I want to change it before I head off to work. Let's check the stick before we fire it up. See how much oil we're using. Looks like they're shooting across the street early morning here. A little practice. Yeah, we're definitely on the full mark. Yeah. So I just want to check to see if it's using any oil, and it's not. I don't add between changes. It's got a lot of miles, but keep it maintained. And what I'm going to do is fire it up, get it warmed up good. What I purchased was, of course, I use Lucas oil treatment. I got 7 quarts of 1040. And if I use a Lucas, I'll probably use 6 quarts. And where's the oil filter? I have a Motorcraft FL 820S. I was going to say 5S. And let's see what we got for miles. Because it was 163 inside on the air cleaner housing. And then, what do we got here? Right out here. Tire sensor fault. We got 166315. So we're due. We'll go ahead and change that oil. I'll fire it up, get her warmed up. Maybe I'll put it up on ramps, give me a little more access. Well, she's all warmed up. We're going to get her up on the ramps here. I can do this without being on ramps, but this is definitely easier. Give me a little more elbow room, you know. Alright, everything's all shiny, greasy because we did that undercoating, but see if I can find my wrench here. 13 mil. Kind of breezy out. It's only about 40. Get my pan right, and I pop my lid so it doesn't burp here. My vent. And then see how much mess I can get down my arm here. I got my arm backwards. Let's see what we can do here. There we go. Not too bad. And she's a little black. I'll leave my bolt sitting on there. And while that's draining, got my oil filter wrench. Let's see if I can reach it here. Let's loosen that oil filter. I'll wipe my hands off here. Oil filter on this is up above. Let's see here. You can reach it down through the hood. Let's see, where is it? Right up. Right in there. If I can crack that free, yep. And then get the wrench out of the way. And then, is it loose enough my hand? Yep. I don't want it dripping yet. See how fast this is dripping? It's running out pretty good now. And I don't know if any of you guys had this same problem, but on the back of the running boards, if I can show you here, get her in focus, is, let's see if I can find one. They have these plugs, they had tape over them. See if I can find it. I can see it, it's just not showing up in the camera here. Right there. I put tape on, the tape kept falling off, it wouldn't stick after we undercoated, you know. I cleaned off the outside area. And I was like, wow, I don't want the snow and salt to get back in them holes. So I was like, what am I going to use? I looked up plugs. I couldn't locate anything online. So I said, well, let's use a can of spray foam. So I didn't put a lot in. Dawson assisted by shining the flashlight, but I just you know, kept hitting it real light, going and filled just the outside. I didn't fill the whole cavity inside. I didn't, that was foolish. Just the outside. And now I'm going to cut off that spray foam and touch it up black. I just don't want the road salt in there and the water and junk. I don't know if you guys got an idea what to seal that. Maybe I can show you on this side a little better. Right there. See that? I just hit the outside a little dab and did that for about a minute on each one. Just kind of just touched it. I didn't let it go inside, you know, just enough to hold it. I didn't want to fill the rocker panel up. So this is just about done draining here. We'll give it a couple more minutes. You see how windy it is. And then we'll do the oil filter. What else can I see while I'm under here? There's our recent starter. And looks like undercoating. But I always look around for any possible issues. I try to keep the truck in good shape. See, we got a lot of gloss from the fluid film. Everything seems to work on this except the left front tire pressure sensor is acting up, and I think the battery's dead in it. So I'll probably have to buy all 4 sensors, because my luck you buy one and then a month later another one will go. And put all new sensors in there. What am I looking at here? Oh, we're kind of zoomed in too close. There we go. And what do we got here? It's just about done draining. And then here's the bolt. Checking out the gaskets in pretty good shape. Probably put a new one on every time, but I don't. If it's not leaking, don't mess with it. So we're going to put the plug back in here. That wasn't too bad. We didn't get much on us. Got that tight. Then you hear it click. Now, this is a problem, getting the oil filter off without making a slopping mess. And that's difficult. Sometimes you can tilt. Just when you pull it off quick. Oh, missing the pan. We'll undercoat the driveway here. Sometimes you can pull it off quick and tilt it up. But you don't know where it's going to drip. It just hits stuff. They should have made like a drain tunnel for it or something. Engineers. The oil does look kind of crappy, but it's only been 3,000 miles. We replaced it in June. And that's the cheapest thing to keep your vehicle going, is change that oil. Here it comes. And then this has a little spot to sit your filter to elevate it enough to drain. And then we got to recycle. And then the next thing you want to do, always look at your filter. See the gasket? Make sure the gasket stays on the filter. The gasket, if it sticks to the engine, you got problems. You put a new filter on and double gasket it. I'm also going to reach up here and feel the surface. There's no gunk, no mud, no junk on it. And I can feel the metal, so that means there's no double gasket and no second gasket left up there. I got this genuine Ford filter. It says Motorcraft USA. I'm sure it's genuine. It's in the box. Doesn't look like a clone. But would you believe the price on that? $2.97. Amazon. I was like, no way, that's cheaper than a Fram. So I just run a little ring of oil on the gasket. I probably can't hold both, but I got to put the oil filter up here. Gotta contort yourself enough to reach up and over and around and try to find the mount here. There it is. I never use a wrench to tighten them. Maybe if it's on a very hard to reach implement or something, you know, but on a vehicle, just bring it into touch. Use your common sense on how tight you want it. Gotta wipe a little bit of oil smudge off it. Some of them say a half a turn, 3/4 of a turn. I just don't want them falling off and leaking. So that's good with that. Let's go outside. Look how thick this Lucas is. It just doesn't want to pour today. I usually take it in the night before if it's cold weather I'm doing it in. But I think that's what's so good about it is it sticks. So you don't, when you get cold engine startups, there's a lot less friction, if you believe it. Lucas is pretty well known. I've been using it forever. We'll let that drain upside down. I'll put my Lucas in first, about 1 quart. While we're letting the old Lucas drain in there, scratched off the old, put on the new miles, and I also write it on my cardboard of the oil filter, the date and miles. We'll keep that in the glove box. Alright, I just took out the Lucas. There was 1 quart left in that gallon, so I used that up. And now I'm going to put in this. This is a synthetic blend. They say it's 5,000 mile rated. 10W40. I know that Ford's call for 520, but I also know they have problems with their oil pumps and oil pressure. So once it's out of warranty, you can do what you want. But I want to put this in a little bit thicker viscosity. This is 5 quarts. And then we'll start it and check it. And it probably needs just about 1 more quart. I wrote down 7 last time, so it's a 7/4. On the Lucas, I wasn't quite sure if it's a full quart in that. It's just about 1 quart. I run that in the car, the tractor, the lawnmower. I think it's good stuff. Kind of pricey, but good stuff. They probably could improve on oil. I'll let this drain in there a little bit. And then I'll go get another quart. This is just about 1.5 quarts. You can see through the side on it. I'm pretty sure it takes that plus another half. But we'll see. I'll stop at the quart mark. And then I'll fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. Right, Terrell? Got an old rag here. And then we'll start it up. And what I like to do, you probably saw me in the past, is crank it over without it actually starting. It seems like, you know, when you don't have oil in the engine, the oil pump's dry. When you first start it up, it takes, I don't know how many revolutions to get oil pressure. So what I've always done is bump it and get the engine cranking over without it actually starting. But it seems like they ought to do like an electric pre-prime pump so that you'd have oil pressure instantly. So let's fire it up and see what we got here. The oil gauge went right up to high. Check underneath. When you get your bolt, look at your oil filter. It's nice and dry, nothing on either. Nice and clean, nice white filter. We'll shut her down. And we'll see how much we got in there. If we could pour it into an exact container, we'd know for sure. But like I said, that Lucas was an iffy. You can't quite see through the jug. I know we're on ramps. We're up about 8 inches, but we're on also a slope going downhill. So the truck it looks almost level. And so this should be pretty accurate. And we got 2 drilled holes, and we want to be near the top one. I could use a little ladder to stand on. Let's see what we got. Hold it level so it's accurate. And we are right here in the crosshatch. Right there. So we got to come up not quite to that mark, because that's a 1/4 inch over. I don't know why they don't put it on the mark. It looks like we need a 1/2 quart. And that may not be totally accurate, because the longer you let it set, the oil will drain down. There's some up in the cylinder heads yet, but it's not full yet. So we'll put a little dab more in it. There's not a 1/2 quart up in there. It's a good day to do this. It's cool out. We got, what's this say? A little less than a 1/2 quart. We'll put all this in there. But it's cool enough today that it's dry. We're expecting a heavy rain tomorrow for that storm coming up through. It's in Florida now. And I don't know, I don't like to be out freezing working on a car. I want to keep this old truckster going. Even this 1040 is pretty runny stuff, so be nice if I can get another 5 years out of this. I don't know. Cars are so expensive. If this funnel was designed different, I could leave this just dripping in there. When I was in high school, I went to a BOCES tech class, automotive. I did the 2-year course, and my teacher always put the oil in the vehicles. You know, we did a little bit of hands-on. Put the oil in the vehicles, and then he'd always want the jug. And he made this cradle where you could set your jugs up, and it's on a diagonal, and he had a drip pan with a cover on it so it stays clean. He'd set his jugs up there. They were 1 quart jugs, and they'd drip into there. And he said after about 3 oil changes or 4 oil changes, he would get a full quart of oil. That's how stingy he was. But that was pretty ingenious, because your containers, you can't get all the oil out of them. I learned quite a bit. I remembered the fire noter from vehicles. What I liked best about the class was when they would have one person or a team take a car and disable the ignition, and you have to figure out what it is. The car wouldn't start, and we'd have to go through everything. Sometimes they would, this is old points cars, so they would close the gap on the points. They disconnect a coil lead. They do something. They change a firing order so it would backfire, and we had to figure that out, and I thought that was fun. Our brake fluid is top full, clean. Our antifreeze is on the mark. It looks good. We just did the used alternator replacement. The belt looks good. Power steering's full. Our oil is probably full. Windshield washer, I'm kind of stingy with it. I don't use a lot of it. I like to wash the car more often than a lot of people. And I could see through this, I guess, but yeah, the power steering's full. The air cleaner I checked not too long ago. Let's see how full our oil is now. we are, hold it level so it's accurate. I don't know, it's a little sloppy, so better do it again. I have to shake it around, but hold it level. And we've got right a hair below the dot. So we're full and a whisker above, like a whisker. The truck is sort of level. I think we're good on oil. And like I said, this doesn't use oil. It doesn't drip, leak. Transmission doesn't leak. And you can't check the transmission fluid level on the vehicles anymore, which I don't like. So we're good to go on this service. And we're going to move along to the next project of the day. But I always, like I said, I like to look over. I forgot I got to pick up one of these 3/4 inch, probably be a nipple that's about 3 inches long, and re-hose clamp this because we gotta, it's not leaking now, but we had a drip that was dripping on that coil. See, there's a leaf down in there, so I'll get an air hose and blow this out. But I want to keep this thing running. So just a quick oil change service. Now I can get to work today. And one thing off the list. So we'll see you later, guys.